What's going on, family? This is Beyond the Lens podcast. My name is Raji from Native Lens.
And this is Tristan B of Tristan B Visuals.
And here we're just here to talk about a little bit about what it's like being a photographer and videographer within the wedding industry.
Yes. Y'all enjoy the show.
We have a few questions, guys, that we hear a lot from our clients and other photographers and videographers. And we just want to basically showcase those questions, answer them to the best of our abilities, and kind of tell you a little bit about what it's like with Tristan and myself being in the wedding industry.
Yes. So, Raji, man, what is something that inspires your approach to wedding photography?
Oof. What inspires my approach? For me, man, so I'm coming from an artistic background,
Yeah.
right? So back in the day, I used to draw and paint and all the good stuff. And I used to teach art as well. A lot of people don't know that.
Nice.
Yeah, I used to teach art. So for me, I really kind of take off of what I used to learn back in the day as far as drawing techniques and shading and composition and lighting and whatnot. So I really draw off a lot of those skills that I learned back in the day. But currently, I like to look at other photographers' work. I try to keep it to a minimum, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at not just photographers in the U.S. I'm looking at photographers over in Russia.
Nice.
Over in Spain.
Yeah.
All those different things, and I really kind of look at, okay, well, how do they do their lighting techniques, or what's their composition look like, or how do they use color,
Yeah.
how do they pose, and I try to implement things I feel would be complementary to my style.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I really.
What about you? What about you, the video?
Yeah, I kind of piggyback off of that, man. Like, I come from a music background. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that.
That's
man.
cool.
So yeah, man, I used to do a lot of like music videos and stuff coming up.
Okay.
So that's how I first got my hands on the camera. But as I got older, I started fading away from music videos and wanted to do something, more artistic, something that's more fulfilling for me.
Okay.
And when I started doing weddings, man, I just felt the love in the room when you shoot a wedding. It's a day where everybody's beautiful, everybody's having a great time. And you don't get that opportunity that much. It's either a wedding or a funeral where you can get so many people in a room together.
That's true.
And yeah, man. So I just love capturing the essence of love and just giving people something that they can really look back on for a lifetime. And just knowing that you were a part of that is special to me, man. So I really just try to go in with a good approach and just try to make the best that I can out of every way. And
Well, let's roll back though, man. You said you used to be in music. Did you play an instrument,
man.
or did you rap? Did you sing?
So back in high school, man, I was in a group.
Okay.
I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, man. Yeah. I named
a group?
41, man. Yeah, we did a lot of music, man. So back then, I was trying to do the music videos for us,
Okay.
So I was kind of doing the media and stuff for us back then. So like I said, the music really helps me out when I'm creating my films, because when people are always like, man, how do you choose your films for your wedding film? I mean, how do you choose your music for your wedding films?
Yeah.
I'm like, I can just feel the couple's energy. I can just feel what kind of vibe they're going for.
Mhm.
And I have a broad catalog of music that I like to listen to. So it's not just one genre that I like.
Yeah.
So I can kind of, think about anything, and like I can find the right song for any couple. So I really think that helps me out. It helps me edit and stay on beat and just, keep everything smooth and consistent, man.
That's good. So, would you say that you go outside of your, how do I say this? Would you say that you go outside of your industry to look for inspiration? Like, for example, for me, obviously I'm a wedding photographer, right? I do weddings and then portraits is on the side as well.
Yes.
But I like looking at architecture photography.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? I do street photography.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And these things actually inspire my wedding photography as well. Do you feel like you do things outside of weddings or even outside of videography that may kind of leak into
man, that's a
your
good
craft?
point, man. Like you said, I like to look at a lot of creative work. Like, it's a lot of videographers out there that they do all these crazy transitions.
Yeah.
They have different styles of tricks, and like you said, I try to take what I can and make it my own. But everybody gets inspired from somewhere.
Yeah.
So I like you said, I like to look at other people's work too, but not too much, because I still want to start doing exactly what other people are doing.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, I definitely like looking at other things outside of weddings. I like watching sports videography sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, man, because like you said, you can see how they do a lot of speed ramps, a lot of different transitions. So you could take things from every type of style of videography and put it into your own type of style and make something out of it, man. So that's a great question, man.
I think that's the beauty of wedding photography or in videography. So this weddings period, you know, any type of media for weddings, because it involves literally all different forms of photography and videography, right? Like in the beginning, you know, we're doing a lot of portraiture of the bride, and we're doing product photography and videography, you know what I'm saying, with the rings and the shoes and everything. And then we got to get into like documentary, you know what I'm saying? So like we literally kind of hit all the different genres of the creative space.
Yeah, man. So, you know, speaking of, you know, wedding day, what would you say is your favorite part of the wedding day to capture?
Oof. I don't know, man. So when I first got into things, I used to really love the ceremony.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, I know people say that's the most stressful part because you gotta get the kiss, right? And that part I get. But I think in the beginning I liked it because I didn't have anyone saying, oh, you have to be here, you have to be there. I can roam around the ceremony.
Yeah.
I can try to find different like creative shots. But as I started growing, I feel like I really started to gravitate towards the getting ready section.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like the makeup shots. I really like creative makeup shots. You know, moving the bride or the groom towards the natural light and getting some creative shots there.
No, I've been with you, man. Yeah. That's where you go crazy at, man. You come up with some creative stuff, man, and
I appreciate
and I'm always like, yo, man, this guy's a mastermind behind that lens right there, man.
Yeah, man, I would say that. And then the reception, man. You know, that first dance coming, you know, them coming in, the first dance and everything. I really feel like it helps to. I like capturing that energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 'Cause I think that's like the tail end of the day.
Yeah.
So they're relieved, they're relaxed, they just want to have fun. They're coming in with high energy. The bridal party's coming in with high energy. It just helps to create some good photos.
Facts.
Yeah. How about yourself?
For me, man, I definitely would have to go with. I know it's you know, not traditional for every, you know, wedding, but I would have to go with the first look.
Yeah.
The first look, you know,
if they do a first look.
Yeah, if they do a first look, you know.
We're gonna talk about that too.
We're gonna talk about that. But for me, the first look, man, that's just the first day, the first part of the day where you can catch some real raw emotion.
True.
And you know, a lot of the grooms, you know, the guys like to act tough sometimes, so they don't let their emotions show so much. But during that first look, sometimes the grooms just can't hold it back. Right. And when I'm able to capture that moment,
get the tears going, man.
Tears, man, and, you know, just able to add that moment into their film, I know that's a moment that's gonna always stick and hit.
Yeah.
And following like what you said, man, the reception is always fun, man. Like I said, they get the wine down, you know, the ceremony's over, now it's time to have a good time, you know, and that's what people like to do. They like to come have a good time, eat good, have a few drinks, and wind down for the night, man. So it's always a pleasure capturing that.
Very true. Very true.
So I know we talked about the good, man. What's your least favorite thing to shoot on a wedding, Nate?
Okay, so least favorite. I know this is probably divisive, but it depends.
Yeah.
All right. If it's a smooth wedding, you know what I'm saying? There's really no bad side to it. You know what I mean? But if it's really pressed for time, the couples portraits, man. It's because you're. It's such a for a photography videographer, maybe, and you can talk about it from your perspective as well. I think it's such a high stress. Like this is the moment, right, where you capture both the bride and the groom together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Interacting, showcasing their love for each other, and you got to hit. Like it has to hit. You know, so I think when we're given 10 minutes, 15 minutes to try to create some magic, it's like, all right. And granted, you know, we perform.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna do what we're gonna do.
We're gonna do what we're gonna do. But it's like, all right.
Yeah.
So I want to say it's the least joyful moment, but it is definitely the most stressful moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I like a little stress.
Yeah. I think, like you said, sometimes we work better under a little bit.
Right. You know, pressure makes diamonds.
No, facts, man. For me, like you said, it's nothing that, you know, is absolutely like my least favorite, but I would definitely say the toast and the speeches, because they can get a little long. And of course, it's a good thing because, you know, you can get some good audio, some good sound bites from the speeches. But just also, being a part of the wedding day, it can kind of slow the wedding reception down a little bit. And you know, that time they want to have the energy, they want to have fun. So I think, like you said, when the speeches get a little long, that's probably like my least favorite thing, because in that aspect, it's not a time for me to create. I'm just shooting still shots of people talking, and I'm more so like to get, you know, creative shots and things of that nature.
No, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's that, man?
All right, so we know the biggest thing about our industry is gear.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't go on no rampage. You know what I mean? We'll get into like exactly what we use, but what's some of the most favorite pieces of gear that you've recently gotten? Like something just that you're like, yeah, I don't know why I waited so long to get this.
Yeah, I would have to say, you know, camera bodies aren't everything, but my camera body that I have right now, I love it, man. You know, I'm a Sony guy. I shoot with the Sony FX3. I know you're a Canon guy.
Whoa.
Oh, no. Nikon.
There we go. Yes.
Nikon,
Let's
man.
get it together.
yes, man. But yeah, my camera body, and I would have to say my lighting equipment, man.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because you know, lighting is really, I think,
everything.
the most important thing.
Yeah.
And I know it's kind of different for photographers. You know, we look at light a little bit different.
Okay.
But for us, we need that continuous lighting for some shots. I know you guys have flash sometimes, and
you know me, I like my continuous lighting.
Yeah. That's why we work well together, man. But yeah, so like I said, I'm a Godox guy when it comes to lighting.
Facts.
And just like having soft boxes gives you that nice soft look, not too harsh on the skin. And you know, those two things. Of course, every videographer should have a gimbal. You shouldn't have to rely on a gimbal for some shots, but you need a gimbal in your portfolio. I mean, in your arsenal, you know. So just to get those smooth, steady shots, man. What about you?
Oh, I was gonna ask a follow-up question real quick.
Oh, okay. What's that?
So you talked about the gimbal. I mean, I know videographers who don't use a gimbal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And their videos are kind of good.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever done a wedding without a gimbal before?
I would say I haven't done a full wedding, but I definitely have done parts of a wedding without a gimbal. And like you said, I've seen a quite a few of videographers that, like you said, handheld all their weddings, and like you said, they're really good. And you know, I feel like if that works for you, you know, do it, man. Because like you said, everybody has their style that works for them. And speaking about style, man, I just want people to realize, like, it's okay to have your own style.
Facts.
It's no right or wrong way.
Don't be copying people.
It's no right or wrong way to shoot your wedding photos, your wedding films.
Yeah.
I know you get online and people, you know, try to say you have to shoot your weddings like this or you have to do it like that. And I disagree with that. I feel like, you know, if you have a style that's working for you, you have a steady clientele, people obviously like what you're doing. So, you know, keep doing it. Of course, always add to it, but just keep doing you know?
Yeah, no, that's a good point, man. We definitely gotta like land on that.
Yeah.
Probably later, though. So your question was, what's one piece of gear that I receive or I have now that I couldn't do without? Oh, that's a good question, man. I mean, I am a Nikon fan. Obviously, I love my camera bodies. But it actually something that you always see, the little piece that I put to put my phone on.
That's clutch. That's clutch.
So I got this this magnetic kind of hold that I put on top of the camera. It goes on the camera shoot, the hot shoot, and I can just put my phone on there, and it basically allows me to get like BTS of whatever I'm shooting in front of me, and it's clutch for like the kiss.
Yeah.
I use it almost all the time. I'm like, oh, I gotta run. I run back, get in my bag, put it on real quick. I'm sure there were times you saw me. I was like right before the kiss.
Right before,
Tucked it on. It was perfect.
But I must say, man, he has some of the best behind the scenes footage. Like he captures everything after the wedding. I'm always like, hey, Chief, tag me in that. Let me get some of that too, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a question for you too, man. So I know me and you, we do a lot of weddings together. So we're not like actually a team, even though we feel like we're a team. We're two different entities. But when we're not working together, do you feel like there's tension between wedding photographers and wedding videographers?
Man, the violence has to stop, y'all. Okay? This is genocide, all right? Sometimes, man, I haven't had any really bad experiences. Maybe just one.
Yeah.
You know, and no name's gonna be mentioned. But there was one videographer I was working with, and it was like a whole production, bro.
Yeah.
You know, where he had two other videographers with him.
Yeah.
And it was me and my wife was second shooting with me at the time.
Yeah.
And he just took over. He was like, "Oh, we're gonna do this, da 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 da," and then he'll just look at me. It's like, "Did you get your shot?"
Yes,
I'm like,
you know I did.
"Dude, no, man, I didn't. I didn't." You know, and it got to the point where even the couple asked him to leave so that I can do their photos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I was like, "Okay, yeah, at least like they see it."
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, that was really the worst experience I've had with the videographer. Most videographers, you know, I've had a good time with, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, I feel like you and I work the best together. But honestly, most videographers are really dope, man. Shout out to Homely from Unleashed Visuals, really dope as well.
Nice. Yeah.
He's been really cool. Him and his wife too. He's a husband and wife team as well.
Amazing work. They do amazing work.
Yeah,
man.
they do good work, man. Do really good work. What about yourself? Have you had any headbutting?
Yeah, like you said, you know, I feel like videographers and photographers, you know, we are all there together to create for the bride and the groom. Yeah. So it's all about communication. Every wedding I go to, I try to communicate with the photographer, let them know, you know, my style of shooting, things that they need me to do, etc. If they need me to turn lights off, etc. But like you said, man, it's a fair share of photographers I work with, and they just take over. Like, they don't let you get any shots, or, you know, sometimes I get it. They zone out. You know, photographers, they start doing their thing, and you know, they zone out and kind of forget we there. But for us, we have to get our shots as well. You know, we have to not only get the same shots as y'all, but some shots we have to add movement to. For photographers, y'all get a lot of still shots, which are beautiful images. But for our video, we need that movement sometimes. So we need just a little extra time to, you know, get that shot. But it shouldn't take forever. You know, me and you, I'm just like, yo, G, let me just get 10 seconds after you real quick, grab that shot, and we on to the next, man. So it's really just a communication thing. And like you said, when you find those photographers or videographers that you like to work with, you kind of try to, you know, stay working with those. Like you said, shout out to the photographers out there that I enjoy working with. Y'all are very respectable. That's all I ask as a videographer, man.
Yeah, man. I think so. One of the things that I try to do with you and with any other videographer is I try to add movement into my posing. You know, so instead of, like, if I have the groom come up behind the bride and grab her from the back and maybe kiss her shoulder, I'll say, hey, walk up to her. You know what I'm saying? So you can get some type of movement. Walk up to her, actually, you know, wrap your arms around her waist, maybe rub her arm up and down, give her, you know, go up and down her shoulder to her neck, you know, just to add some movement. So for you, you're getting movement, and I'm also getting my shot. And I think that's like a really good way to collaborate with a videographer, is to add movement into your poses, guys. Like, that's going to be so helpful. They'll be thankful. It's actually better for the bride and groom too.
Yeah, because they don't have to redo the same shots.
Facts.
And like you said, we can just shoot at the same time, so it saves us time, and it just makes everybody happy, man. So I definitely agree with that.
I think it's more natural for them too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're not just like standing there, you know what I mean, just looking down or whatever, which sometimes they might have to stay still for a photo or two, but adding movement, I think, adds to their emotion too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I got a question for you, man. So as you know, man, we shoot, I would say mostly African American weddings, you know, but we're branching out to, you know, all races. You know, we love all races, and we're trying to tap into that industry. But do you feel that there is, you know, when you go into these luxury, high-end places, do you feel like you get that respect that you deserve?
Oh, we get into thick of it.
We get a little thick right now, man.
Yeah. I bet. So, personally, I've never felt any pushback or any pressure or you know, weird feeling from someone.
Yeah.
But I've heard stories.
Yeah.
Where people have had some pretty interesting experiences.
Yeah. And
I think the biggest thing to think about is like, okay, well, how do I say this? So there's two ways to look at it, right? One way is we typically gravitate to what we're used to.
Yeah.
And that's beyond race, right?
Facts.
Like how we think, maybe, you know, gender or whatever the situation may be. I think we gravitate to what we're comfortable with and what we're used to, right? So it does take a you do have to be very, what's the word? It, intentional.
Intentional, yes.
You know, about, like, let's say if you're a bride and groom, right, and of a certain race or whatnot, to look outside of maybe your circle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or if you're a vendor or you're a venue.
Yeah.
You know, and you're looking for people that do, you know, for your preferred vendors list.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of look outside your circle a little bit. If you're a photographer, videographer, and you're used to shooting certain skin tones, shoot outside, you know, your circle a little bit. Because what that does is it opens you up to different markets, but it also improves your creativity as well.
It does.
Because you're dealing with different types of people.
Yes.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I haven't had any real pushback, man. I think you know, I've had some pretty positive experiences.
That's good, man.
Honestly, what about yourself?
Yeah, like you said, for the most part, you know, we carry ourselves with high respect. So
Right.
Respectable guys. So not really too much negative things. I feel like more so when you go into these luxury high end venues and things of that nature. When you first come in, they just maybe don't think that you're gonna, you know, produce something as high as quality as we do. So it's kind of like we're the underdogs. But once we deliver that,
I like being the underdog.
Yeah, you know, I like being the underdog, man. So like me and my partner, man, we always say that, man. You know, we come in as the underdog. They don't know what we do because, you know, when we go do weddings for, like you said, other races and things like that, other people don't know who we are. You know, they see us with cameras. So we go in as the underdog, but when we would deliver that final product, they love it. They share it to all of their family, friends, and peers that were there. Now they're like, oh, they did an amazing job. So like you said, you just got to have that mindset, like, you know, I'm here to do a great job. I don't care what nobody's thinking about me or anything of that nature. I'm here for the bride and groom, and I'm going to come here and do what I'm supposed to do.
Let's actually hop on and let's talk about mindset.
Yeah.
I think that's really important too.
Yeah. So man, that's real. That's a real good question. Because a lot of people go into the weddings like vendors and everything like that, and sometimes you could think it's about you, but the wedding is not about you. You have to realize that there are a lot of talented, skillful vendors all here as their own vendor, and you know they're doing what they're supposed to do, but we're working together as a team. So it's like when we may get upset with other vendors, you have to just brush it off because we can't let our egos get involved. We're here to do what we're supposed to do for the bride and groom to make their day special. So it's all like you said about having that mindset, because no wedding day is perfect. It's going to be some hiccups. So you have to have a positive mindset throughout the day, and you have to be one that can think quick on your feet.
Yes.
Because things are going to change and not go as planned. So you got to be able to think. And you got to be able to stay happy because, you know, they're looking at us for a lot of direction.
Very true.
You know, if we're looking stressed out, they're going to be stressed out. So, like you said, it's really, you know, you got to stay positive, man. How you feel about that?
No, I agree, man. So early on in my career, and I think every photographer and videographer, any wedding vendor can relate to this. How we want the nice looking wedding.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We want the beautiful couples, the nice looking venues. You know what I'm saying? And we don't always get that.
Yeah.
Right. And in the beginning of my career, I found myself not really putting my all into things I felt that weren't portfolio worthy. And I got a wake up call from it was actually a photographer, videographer. His name is Eric Floberg. Have you heard of him before?
Not familiar with him.
So I think he's up in Chicago.
Okay. Yeah.
And he had a YouTube channel, or he still has it, I think. And I remember watching one of his videos, and he was talking about how he the best thing to do is to have a heart for your couple.
Facts.
And that hit me, man. I got a little convicted. I was like, oh no, you know. And that right there, it's probably like after the first maybe 6 months of my you know, really starting my wedding career.
Yeah.
After that, man, I kind of changed my mindset, and I was like, you know what, Raji, like you said, every couple is special.
Yeah.
No matter if you get married in your backyard, 'cause I've done a few backyard weddings.
Yeah.
I've done like 2. Well, 1 front yard, 1 backyard. Whether you get married in your backyard or whether you get married at the Four Seasons.
Exactly.
Like, you have to have a heart for your couple, man. And I talk to some of the up-and-coming photographers now, and I tell them, like, if you don't have a heart for your couple, don't do this. If you're in it just to do, like, nice weddings and stuff, because that's not going to be the majority of your weddings. Majority of your weddings are going to be, like, mid-tier weddings. You know? And then you'll have those highlights, right? So having a heart for your couple is extremely important, man. And I really like to drive that home because if you don't, man, you'll find yourself start becoming lackadaisical on your editing or your shooting or whatnot or whatnot. Have you been in those moments before where it's like,
Nah, yeah, man, that's a real good
it's like
takeaway,
that?
man. Like you said, I feel exactly the same way. Where it's like, they're getting married at this venue that
Yeah.
I'm not too appalled about, but
Mhm.
like you said, that day is special to them,
Special time.
and they don't care where they're getting married at. You
Facts.
have to make their vision. You have to bring their vision to life, man.
Yeah.
Give them those memories that they can cherish for a lifetime, and that goes with outside of weddings, any type of projects that we shoot.
Yeah.
Music videos, anything. Because I used to look at music videos, and I'm like, I don't want to shoot this video. This song is not good. But to that artist, that song means everything to them.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes the songs don't be good.
they know. And but it's just like you gotta do what's right for the client, man. They booked you because they believe in what you can do for them.
Facts.
So that's all we're here to do. And,
Work in excellence.
Yeah, exactly, man. So yeah, I really like that, man. You gotta have love for it. And like you said, man, when I got started, I don't feel like wedding photography and filmmaking was so huge.
Really?
Now
When did you get started? What year?
I wouldn't say I got started back in my first wedding was in college, which was 2016.
Okay.
So I'm doing my family wedding, so I had time to practice and mess up and things like that. But at that time, most of the people in my age, my peers, like you said, they weren't focused on weddings. They were more so music videos, working with models, doing I wouldn't say fun, but more things that's not as serious as weddings.
Gotcha.
So when I started doing weddings, I had a vision because, like I said, I had just got out of college.
Mm-hmm.
I knew if I had got started then, by the time I was good, all those people that was in school with me were going to eventually start getting married. So now those are 50% of my clientele.
Yeah.
Because they saw me grow and evolve. Like, oh, we remember when you were doing weddings back then. They weren't that good, but now you know what you're doing. And it's like, we're millennials, so we're around that age where people are getting married, and I think that really helped me out and helped me grow. Starting early because I was able to learn and grow from my mistakes early too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's kind of hop on that. Like as far as like the starting off years.
Yeah.
The years where you just suck.
Yeah, because you're not going to start off good. Man. Let's face it.
Did you start off with Sony?
Yeah, I always been Sony, man. I always been a Sony guy. No, I actually did have a Canon Rebel T2i. Yeah.
Everyone starts off with a Rebel.
Yeah, I said that was my actual first camera. So let me take that back. But yeah, man, I did weddings for my family. I remember my first cousin. When I did it, I thought it was amazing. I look back at it now, it's trash.
You still got the video?
I still have it, man. I still have it. I might throw a clip in there. But yeah, man, you're gonna have those growing pains when it comes to the wedding industry. Even to this day, I still come across some things where it's like, oh, I could have did that better, or something bad might happen. But you just have to learn as you grow. Like we said, no wedding is the same. So you can't go into every wedding thinking it's going to be perfectly the same because it's not. What I've learned, I would say something I learned during my process the most is how important audio is. I know a lot of videographers starting out, they don't really, put much emphasis on the audio part.
Right.
But it's pretty much just as important as the video.
Very true.
So I always try to keep growing and elevating in my audio as well. And like we spoke on earlier, is lighting as well. Like you just got to, be able to capture shots as beautifully as possible.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need extra light for that. In some situations, you might not have a light, so you still have to know how to work your camera. That's another thing. People have to actually learn their cameras so they know what they're doing.
Learn your camera, folks.
Yes, for real.
Learn your camera.
You have to know what you're doing.
I'm look at this one. Learn your camera, guys. Learn your camera.
It's all facts, man. So how about you, man? What was some obstacles that you may have faced coming up?
All right, yeah. Learning my camera. So the way my brain works, man, I have when I'm into something, I saturate my brain with information. You know what I'm saying? So I start off with Canon. And then I grew into Nikon, but really just understanding the basics of photography, right? And granted, I had a good foundation just like from understanding like lighting, composition, and color.
Yeah.
Just from drawing and painting. But understanding like aperture, ISO, shutter speed, how all those three things kind of correlate with one another. And then being able to go into a space, whether it be a wedding or a photo shoot, whatever.
Yeah.
And now I have to communicate with the person, operate my camera,
yeah.
and make something look good
Yeah.
all at the same time. Like that's a tricky thing.
No,
you know,
is.
people don't realize like how much is going on in your brain
On the fly.
On the fly, you know, and I still like you mentioned earlier, creating a comfortable environment for the person, because if you're stressed out, they stressed out, right? So now I got to be a therapist. I have to have good customer service. I have to be an engineer, like a lighting engineer. You know what I mean? Whether it's natural light or artificial.
It's a lot of jobs you cover.
A lot of jobs, all on one time. At one time, you got to be a comedian. You know, you got to make them laugh and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of moving pieces, man. I think for me that was kind of the most difficult part, like just kind of juggling all three of those. But it's like once you get it though, once you start feeling comfortable, you start feeling your stride.
It comes to you.
It comes, man. It comes. But I think for me, lighting was actually the most difficult thing.
Yeah.
You know, because before I started using Constant Light, I was using Flash. I still use Flash. You know, when I need to. But all you photographers out there that are trying to learn Flash, or no Flash, you know that it's difficult to really get it down, because it's totally different than using natural light. You have to understand how the flash power correlates with your camera settings, and then how to get the desired image, and what you see isn't always what you get. You know what I mean? So getting that down was really difficult, man. It was really difficult.
Yeah, man. So
and that's why I went over to Constant Lights.
I was going to ask you, so right now, are you more of a fan of Constant Lighting?
Okay, so yes and no.
Yeah.
Run and gun in dim lit environments, Constant Lighting is king, man. Like when you just have to get something done quickly. So I know you got the Godox. I use the Stella Pros.
Yeah, awesome lights.
Awesome CLX 10s, and extremely expensive.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously expensive. I don't know why I spent so much money on
those.
That's
why your price is your price.
Facts.
They don't understand. It's a lot that goes into it.
But they're great lights, man. And boop, turn them on. They're very powerful. So I can, even in somewhat, like, I don't want to say brightly lit, but neutrally lit situations, they can still come in handy. But you just turn them on and go. You shoot, and that's it.
Nice.
So I think the ease of use with Constant Lights is helpful. But there are times though where I need more power. And then that's where strobes come in. Nice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So
did you do any photography? Have you ever done photography?
I played with photography. I feel like as a videographer, you have to know a little bit about photography. Vice versa. I know photographers are trying to learn. Like they want to know a little bit about videography, but I'm a videographer, so I'm biased. But I feel like photography is a little bit harder.
You think so?
In a way.
Bro, that audio stuff is crazy, man, with video.
Yeah, it's a lot of aspects that go into videography, but you know, I feel like y'all have thousands of photos y'all have to take and edit. So I mean, it's a lot of work on both ends. That's why I feel like, you know, they're both hand in hand with the amount of work that you have to do.
True.
You know, it's a blessing that, you know, you've been able to shoot so many weddings that you have, man. Like, what would you say helped you, you know, gain that notoriety and, you know, that clientele that, you know, that keeps you busy, man?
What helps me gain the notoriety and clientele? Man, I don't know.
That's a great answer, man.
I don't know, man. So in the beginning, I did a lot of marketing. So for those who don't know, my previous job, my 9-to-5 job was in marketing. I worked at Full Sail University. Before that was admissions, and so I had a little bit of marketing experience with that, and I used what I learned there, and I really applied it to my business. So in the beginning, I did a lot of marketing, and that's how I kind of got my first set of clientele. But after that, I think it was just a lot of word of mouth. You know, Instagram is a great source. Check your analytics, guys. Your analytics on your website, where people are coming from. So like, almost 45% of my inquiries come from Instagram. Little less than 40, like 36, 37 come from Google. And then the remaining amount is word of mouth or referral.
Yeah, word of mouth referral,
Yeah.
man.
So
Yeah, so
what
like for
about you?
me, like I said, I'm from North Carolina, man. So when I moved to
That
Florida,
change is
yeah,
crazy.
it's a big change. You know, like you said, you worked at Full Sail. I went to school at Full Sail,
Okay.
so I came to Full Sail to get my master's in film production. So
Okay.
after graduation, you know, I decided to stay in Florida, give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anybody here, no family, anything. So you know, I just started posting my work, and by the grace of God, a couple, they had faith in me, they believed in me.
Listen.
You know, I didn't get paid that much.
Yeah.
So, you know.
How much was it? How much was it?
It's embarrassing, man. I got paid $750.
$700 for the first wedding?
For the first wedding.
Bro, that's amazing.
Well, thanks, man.
$300, bro.
Oh, yeah.
For my first wedding, $300.
Yeah, man. That's so, like you said, you got to start from somewhere.
That's right.
And to you up and coming filmmakers and photographers, you got to start somewhere. So don't think about the money right away. So definitely just worry about building that catalog.
Yeah.
But like you said, after that wedding, I was introduced to a wedding. I mean, I was introduced to a wedding planner.
Okay.
And the wedding planner, you know, she was amazing, man. She was amazing, man. She started just referring me to people.
That's cool.
Again, like I said, I don't know anybody here, so they're trusting her. And shout out to D Perfect Touch. I always have to show her love because she definitely was one of the first ones that like saw what I could do. She saw the potential in me before like anybody else did. And it's a lot of great wedding planners out here. L3 Events, Rebecca, Vanessa with Dream Weddings, and so many more. And I don't want to miss anybody, but you definitely want to connect with other vendors because that's how I grew, connecting with other vendors. And like you said, those vendors just, you know, referring your name when you're not in the room. Like you said, for me, 60% of my clients come from word of mouth. Like,
oh, really?
Word of mouth, yeah.
That's a lot, bro. That's good.
I would say the rest is Instagram. Like you said, man, Instagram is, if you use Instagram the way you're supposed to use it, it's an amazing platform, amazing social network. So I tell people, you know, just use it for what you're supposed to use it for. Don't post pointless stuff. You know, post your good work. It is your portfolio. So, you know, people are coming to your Instagram page to see what you can do. Yeah. And if the work is good, the work is going to sell itself.
Yeah, true.
So,
my journey was a little different, man. I didn't really start getting into connecting with vendors until maybe my latter half of my career.
Okay.
The first part of it was like word of mouth and Instagram. Yeah. And then later I started making connections with the wedding planners and whatnot. Yeah. But making connections is so important, man. Like this is a team sport, guys.
It is.
It's a team sport. You know what I mean? You can't be a lone wolf.
Facts.
I am naturally a lone. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm naturally a lone wolf. You know what I'm saying? But I think as I get older, I realize the importance of partnership, cooperation, you know, being able to connect and network with people. Yeah. And now it's like, you know, no more crabs in the barrel mindset. It really comes down to who can I do life with? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who can I do this life with? You know, that's the most important thing. Facts, you know what I'm saying? So connecting with my boy Tristan.
Facts,
you know what I mean? And other vendors out here, man. It's really important to really see this as a team sport. Even people within your same field, like like this is not I try not to see it as a competition.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
It really isn't, because what's for you is for you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I know that I'm going to get the people that are for me or for Native Lens. Other photographers, and I've gladly referred other photographers.
Exactly, man.
Happily.
Yep.
I'm not the man for you.
Yeah.
Maybe this photographer is for you.
Yep.
You know? I got a good question.
All right.
So, have you ever had someone show you, in your case, like a video that was not your style? Yeah. Like a bride or a groom, like, hey, we love this style, but it's not how you would normally shoot it.
I have.
How do you respond to that?
And like you said, man, everybody has their own style. So I feel like if you're coming to me, you've already seen the type of work that I displayed and you know what I can do. But I also take into consideration that you like my style, but you want to see me try something new. So I sometimes like a challenge.
Yeah? You take that on?
Sometimes I will take it on. Okay. But if it's something that's just completely out of my style, you know, out of something I would do, I would just have to, you know, tell the client like, hey, that's not really my style. But like you said, having that network of other videographers, I can say I can refer you to somebody that I think would be great for this job.
Yeah.
So like you said, in this business, you got to have great customer service. Sometimes you just have to be honest with these clients because everybody is not your ideal client. And it's okay to say no. That's what I've learned to do. It's okay to say no.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, exactly, man. Because like you said, sometimes when you see red flags, you can't ignore them. So, you know, when you're having these consultations, you know, with different clients and too many red flags occur, you should probably just say, okay, yeah, I don't think you're my ideal client. And, you know, I have some other people that I can refer you to, things of that nature, man.
Yeah.
But always stay 100% professional.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I had this one lady, man, she came, so it was a while back, and she's like, I love your work. Here's a few photos of what I would like.
Yeah.
And, dude, the photos were amazing.
Yeah.
You know, but they weren't anything that I would usually take.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she's asking me to do all this photoshopping and all this like weird stuff, and I'm like, that's not really what I do.
Yeah.
You know, but like you said, there's a way to talk to people where you stay professional, you have good customer service, you're still showing yourself friendly.
Yeah.
You gotta say no. It's like, hey, I don't think I'm the best photographer for that. I do know a photographer that might lean closer to that style of photography. Here's the information. And she was thankful, you know.
Yeah.
She was thankful. She was like, "Are you sure you can't do it?" I'm like, "Nah, that's not my wheelhouse."
Yeah,
you know.
So you want to save that trouble, you know, when you can, you know. So.
Yeah, because the worst thing I would want is for her to come back to me and be like, "Oh, you didn't fulfill my dream."
Yeah.
I never want to hear that. That's just not what I want to hear.
So majority of our weddings, I feel like you know, are pretty good. You know, everything's great. The bride and grooms love their work.
Yeah.
Have you ever dealt with a bridezilla or unhappy client?
Yeah, not necessarily a bridezilla, but definitely unhappy client or a client that felt like I didn't meet certain expectations.
Yeah.
And those are always tough, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, because you have so much pride in your work.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really understand that, you know, brides or grooms or, people that just receive our work.
Yeah.
We do take pride.
We do.
Like, we take crazy pride in our work. You know, when I'm at my computer, I'm smiling. You know, looking at the wedding photos, I'm smiling from ear to ear. I'm excited about these photos. It's not just a gig or a job. Like, this is something I love to do.
Yeah.
So when I hear, you didn't get a picture of this, or, and granted, you might have that rebuttal in your brain, like, you do know we were late.
Exactly.
Or the wedding was behind, or
that's another story.
Or you never told me to get this type of photo. You know what I'm saying? And we can run those all day.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, again, it goes back to like having a heart for your client, right? Yeah. And I always believe, I am not one to believe that the client is always right.
Yeah.
That's not my thing. But I am one to believe that we should have empathy for your couple, your client, you know?
Yeah.
We should say, okay, cool. What was it about this that you didn't like, or what were you expecting? How wasn't I clear about the expectations? And if they're still a little bit in a rut, try to make it right. Like, I remember one client, she felt like I didn't get certain photos of the elderly, like during the reception.
Yeah. And
I felt bad about that because it's like the elderly are important. These are people that are potentially going to be gone in the next few years.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, man, I'm so sorry. My apologies that, I didn't know that was something that you wanted.
Yeah.
But, here's a free print or a wedding album or something.
Just something to make it right, you know?
Yeah, do your best to make it right, man. I think that's the most important thing. Do your best to make it right.
Yeah.
Have a heart for them. Understand, like you said, this is the most important day. One of the most important days. They spent a lot of money on you and the venue.
Yeah.
Do the best to make it right.
And like you said, man, speaking on that customer service, man, like a lot of these clients, they're not just choosing us based on our work. They're choosing us on who we are as people as well.
Yeah, true.
So
true.
They definitely, put that into consideration. So you're a great guy, man. Like you said, you got a lot of 5 stars for a reason, So
hey.
Like piggybacking off of that, man.
5 stars.
Yeah.
Reviews,
man. 5-star reviews, man. But like you said, man, that goes back to like, having those consultations and the agreements, just so you can all be on one page. I had a situation similar to you, a bride was just not happy with the amount of photos that she got of her. I mean, videos that she got of herself and the bridal session. But we just had to have a conversation after because they don't know how it is for us. So you sometimes have to break it down to them. Yeah. Like you said, I had to explain like, we are 2 hours behind, so we didn't have the amount of time that we, were said we were going to get to do what we needed to do. And then, sometimes it's hot out in Florida. Brides don't want to sweat. So it's like, I'm like, you want nice things.
You remember that one time where she didn't want to go outside?
Yeah, I'm like, I know it's hot, but if you want, these nice visuals, these nice photos, sometimes we have to, go out of our comfort zone to get what we need to get for a little bit. And, like you said, it never makes us feel good because, like you said, we are sensitive about our work. Yeah. But I do take criticism well too. So like you said, you got to, to grow. But
you gotta be a little tough skinned.
Yeah, you gotta be tough skinned. But I'll tell you, I'm my biggest critic. So you can't criticize my work without me knowing that I could do it better myself. Every film that I make, I'll probably watch it 100 times just to keep saying what I could have did better.
That's good.
Like I thumb down, like, I could have did that better. I could have did that better.
And it always be after you deliver.
Always, man. That's how it always is. That's how we are passionate about our work.
Facts.
And that's why I think people really, like working with us because they can tell, we're very passionate about what we do. So yeah, man, this is the first episode of Beyond the Lens. It was a great being here with you guys and just, talking about things outside of the wedding sometimes, man. So, G, I appreciate you, man. It was a pleasure being here with you.
Yes, sir.
We're going to do this again for sure.
More to come. More to come. Yes.
So yeah, it was a wrap. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Take care, guys.